AI does amazing things. Everyone's been talking about it. Helps you with production, helps you with personalization, a much deeper level, helps you with fatigue and inactivity management, helps you to optimize timing, understanding performance, huge one, and also next best action. Lots of great things. That's on our side of the house. However, there is the other, sorry, getting ahead of myself. And thanks to that, we're getting ever closer to the one-to-one paradigm. Say it with me, the right message to the right person at the right time. This aspirational goal has suddenly become within actual reach, which is pretty amazing. However, we are not the only ones using AI in the email marketing ecosystem. There's also the inbox providers and mailbox providers. They are using AI as well. They are using it pre and post-open to do AI summaries. And in many cases, this is making the email experience for us and our subscribers not awesome. So that's what I want to talk about today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chad White. I'm the GVP of CRM Strategy at Zeta Global. I've been in the email marketing space for about 20 years. I'm also the author of the book Email Marketing Rules, which is now in its 4th edition. Written nearly 4,000 blog posts and articles about email and digital marketing over my years in this space. So check me out. Would love to connect with you on LinkedIn and all the other places at Chad S. White. For those of you who aren't familiar with Zeta, we are a marketing, loyalty, and advertising platform that helps you acquire, grow, and retain your customers. At the core of our business is identity resolution, omnichannel activation, and AI. We've been AI-centered since 2017, so it's not a bolt-on. It is at the very heart of our business. And most recently, we were named a leader in the Forrester Wave ESP. That was our 4th time, so 8 years of being in the leader space. No other ESP has done that. So if you're doing any investigation of ESPs, check us out. But let's get to it. So let's start by talking about that pre-open experience in the inbox and the AI impact on that. I'm going to start by talking about Gmail. Gmail has been one of the most aggressive inbox providers in terms of AI summaries. They do a thing called automatic extraction around to provide deal annotations. So they take out of your email using AI to highlight percentage off offers, expiration dates, discount codes, and they'll do some preview images as well. You cannot opt out of automatic extraction, and consumers can't either. So this happens all the time. Highlighted some things. People love this little carousel. They think that's pretty cool, but it does a lot of other things as well, pulling out other additional information which they are putting in there in the place of preview text. We'll point out that the top deal section used to be a highlight for emails where they would resurface emails that had deals that were expiring very, very soon. And now they're using AI summaries for that as well. So it's kind of clawing back a little bit of special space that they used to give to us. And they also have these new images that I wanted to highlight. And you might recognize they look very, very similar to the ads that they have in line in the inbox. That is on purpose. That is, I would say, 90% of the whole purpose of deal annotations for Gmail. The point is to make your emails look like their ads, so people will click on their ads thinking they're your emails. That's the whole point for them, is to get advertising clicks. But these look very similar, and this is a brand new module that they've been using. The little bit of a capitalization error on the caption text underneath this image. But the really interesting thing about this image from this email is that it is actually not from the email at all. If you open that email, that image is nowhere to be found. That email is from the web, from Lane Bryant's website. So a little bit of a disconnect there, right? So you would expect that image is from the email. It is not. Yahoo does something very similar. In many ways, all of these inbox providers are kind of vibing off of each other. The thing that Yahoo Mail does that's extra special is that they not only use AI summaries to remove your carefully crafted preview text, but they'll also use it to replace your subject lines. And you can tell that in the inbox view because subject lines are bolded. And so when you see 2 non-bolded lines, that is an AI summary. They don't do it all the time. It's inconsistent. I don't know how it's going to be ramped up in the future, but that's something they're also doing. So losing subject lines and preview text sometimes. Apple Mail, they also are in on the action. If you are looking at your inbox by category, they do this thing called brand grouping, where they will group emails from the same brand together, and they will show you just the subject line. They do this in an extra special, super unhelpful way, where they will show you the most recent subject line after your last engagement. So not the most recent subject line. That would be the thing that you would probably want. It would be the most recent after the last time you engaged. You end up with like really weird scenarios where you're opening an email in 2026 and it's highlighting emails from 2024 and 2021. Not helpful. I hope they fix that. It seems like a bug, but it's been that way for over a year now. All right, let's talk about the post-open experience, which sadly isn't any better than the pre-open experience in terms of what inbox and mailbox providers are doing to us. Start with Gmail again. They do this thing called deal cards. It's this big block that sits above your email, pushes some of your email content below the fold. It highlights very much just like deal annotations does. It's like the primary offer in your email. It's taking that information and highlighting that. It's a little bit like reducing your email to kind of one thing, unfortunately. The other thing that it does is that it makes mistakes. The deal annotations also makes mistakes. All of the AI summaries make mistakes. This is a particular quirk within deal cards, is that it does not understand a BOGO, a buy one, get one. So there's a buy one, get one, 50% off, and it just says 50% off. That is not the correct offer. It does this a lot. Yahoo deal summaries actually preceded deal cards at Gmail. These are uniquely kind of devious. If you click into the experience, especially on desktop, you will have this sort of this kind of carousel of modules, and they are very varied and confusing. So you might end up with an ad for one brand, ads for another brand, something from the email itself, and then something from another email in your inbox. Very, very confusing. The nice thing that Yahoo is doing is that they have recognized that this is an ad, and they're allowing you to upgrade to get rid of them. So that's fantastic of them. I'm hoping that everyone develops some serious ad blindness to these modules and will just scroll down past them, because it's not a great experience. They are also using generative AI to summarize the email. Unlike Apple, which requires users to press a button to get that summary, they're doing it automatically. When that happens, you can see it takes up essentially all the preview pane space. Your message is totally pushed down. So, routinely, AI summaries are removing preview text. That's the biggest thing they're taking away, but sometimes they're taking away subject lines, and oftentimes they're removing anywhere from 30 to 100% of the preview pane experience from marketers. So not great. At the same time, though, there's a little bit of a silver lining here. The inbox providers, many of them are the same giants who are running LLMs, most notably Microsoft and Google. And they realize that email is super, super important. There's a thing called marketing content usage from Gmail. This is a thing that you'll want to turn off. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, except for you should turn this thing off. You should look it up, turn it off. It's not great. It subscribes to your email program and then uses that to surface information from your emails, not understanding that a lot of emails today are one-to-one, and therefore the experiences are going to be very varied. This acts like we're somewhere in 2010 or 2005 in terms of what we're doing with our email programs. But the better thing they're doing is this thing called personal intelligence, where they are trying to get Gemini users to connect their Gmail account, their Yahoo account, their Google Images or Google Photos, and other Google properties all into Gemini, so that Gemini can learn from all of that to make better recommendations. That is super awesome. That is the thing that is going to really superpower AI commerce. And it is a great recognition on behalf of Google and Microsoft that there's purchase history in there, which is absolutely gold to understand, because all of your email receipts are in your inbox. That understands your whole purchase history with brands that you like, and what are you buying, and how much are you spending. Also, any sort of seasonal purchase patterns, it helps them understand that as well, so it can be very smart in recommendations. Probably almost secondarily to the purchase history is that you're getting your one-to-one promotions in your inbox. It allows them to understand if they're promoting 2 products, which is the one that actually has the better price for you. Loyalty also is in there. Loyalty points, special loyalty rewards, that is also key to like being able to differentiate the value between 2 products that AI commerce might be recommending. And then also social graph information, information about your friends and your family and gifts you're buying for them as well. So, despite all of this disruption, which I think is mostly not good, these inbox writers and mail writers are investing a ton of money in email marketing, in the email space, which is great. And it's great for all of you. You should also feel very good about the investments you're making in the email channel, because there is just historic levels of investment going on in inboxes and mailboxes right now. And with that, I thank you very much. I would, if you have questions, please seek me out. Also, Rebecca is here. Rebecca, if you could raise your hand, and Chase and Kyla, if you could raise your hand. If you have questions for any of us here at Zeta, please seek us out. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Yes. Look for the Best Buy blue polos. That's the Zeta Geek Squad, exactly.